We'll round out our first half with a comic, storyteller, writer, runner, and rapper who performs stand-up regularly with The Kates, a twice-monthly all-female comedy showcase. She's also performed at the Chicago Women's Funny Festival, Zanies, Studio B, and the Lincoln Lodge, and has been a featured storyteller on The Funny Story Show, I Shit You Not, and Story Club, where she was voted the audience favorite. A three-time Chicago marathoner, she is co-author of the blog rulesforrunning.com and is also one-fourth of She's Crafty, Chicago's all-female Beastie Boys tribute band. Yes, it's true. And you can see it, and her, and the others, on August 10th. That's this coming weekend at Gallery Cabaret in Bucktown, and also telling jokes with the Kates on August 31st at the Bookseller in Lincoln Square. Please give a warm hand to Maggie Jenkins.
A little bit lower. There we go. So good with that mic stand. Hi there, Mrs. Jones. Hi, my name's Maggie. I'm the one who's been talking to all the families here in Hanover this summer about those study guides to help your kids with schoolwork. It only takes a quick minute. Do you have a place to sit down? I've recited that script about 10,000 times. It is seared in my soul, and it literally haunts my dreams. That's what happens when you devote 2 summer vacations to selling educational books door to door, 80 hours a week, to unsuspecting moms in New Hampshire, Vermont, and upstate New York. You're probably wondering what the hell I was thinking. For starters, I was 18, a freshman in college, and thought I was pretty damn awesome. The ditzy gal who recruited me for this crazy job had been one of the top first-year salespeople the previous summer. She made $30,000. I thought if she could make 30 grand, I could at least do half that. I prepared all spring semester, but the week before I was set to leave, my mom said, "Wait, you were serious about that?" I pleaded my case. I'll get to travel, I'll make a lot of money, and I'm 18, so you can't stop me. Begrudgingly, she relented. So one Saturday morning in May of 1999, I packed up my Ford Taurus and caravanned with about 60 other students to Nashville for a week of sales school. Yep, sales school. It's a thing. It's a thing for students who decide to work for the Southwestern Company. You go to their headquarters with thousands of other eager/foolish college kids to learn your sales pitch, be force-fed inspirational sayings, and become part of what I now somewhat affectionately call the book cult. As a member of the book cult, I learned many valuable lessons that sadly were not featured in the study guides that I sold. Starting with lesson 1, how to find a place to live. At the end of sales school, my managers assigned me 2 roommates, and we headed up to New Hampshire without anywhere to live. Upon arriving in picturesque Hanover, home to the prestigious Dartmouth College, us 3 girls started knocking on doors to ask people if we could stay with them. It's important to note, this was not 1959. This was 1999. Eventually, we found a retired couple willing to let us live on the 2nd floor of their guest house. The 1st floor was already occupied by their brother, Munir, a hard-of-hearing 91-year-old Syrian. We quickly learned to appreciate his incessant hummus making and loud Arabic singing. The following summer, my 2 roommates and I rolled into Cortland, New York during graduation weekend, so there were no hotel rooms available. So that first night, we wound up sleeping in a church rec room before hitting up Mass and asking members of the parish to take us in. Would you believe 4 families offered to let us stay with them? I still keep in touch with the couple we lived with, Joe and Linda, and they still refer to the place I slept as Maggie's room. on someone's door and ask them if you can live in their basement for 3 months, asking people to buy stuff is no big deal. Lesson 2, how to manipulate mothers. Turns out, moms will buy stuff just because their friends do. Women let me, a total stranger, into their homes because I had a clipboard with names of people in their neighborhood. A lot of families have been picking up these study guides for their kids, like the Smiths and the Johnsons and the Petersons. You know them. I sold books to Woodstock, Vermont PTA President Debbie Connors. I'd drop her name and boom, moms would bust out their checkbooks left and right. Lesson 3, how to gain 20 pounds in just 12 weeks. When you hear the phrase door-to-door book salesperson, you probably picture someone hoofing it from house to house, hauling heavy volumes and walking miles upon miles. Wrong. I worked in rural areas and drove around all day, every day. The only exercise I got was walking from my Taurus to the front door and back. And I ate like total shit. PB&J, Pringles, Sunbelt granola bars, those are my staples. I even started mooching off my clients, telling them I forgot my lunch. One time I interrupted a family's movie night, gave them my sales pitch, and then ate hot fudge sundaes and watched the end of The Mummy before moving on. Lesson 4, how to live large. The key to being a high roller is to be a total cheap ass. The more you spend, the less you save. Buying superfluous things like soda or nutritious food meant less money in my pocket, so I gave it up. My total haul for 2 summers of book selling cheapskate hell was more than $25,000. I bought a 96 Chevy Corsica straight up. I graduated without a single student loan, and to this day, I still don't drink soda. That's fact. Work hard. Lesson 5, work hard, play hard. Our goal, Monday through Saturday, was to knock on our first door by 8 a.m. and keep going until 10 p.m. We were to give 30 sales demonstrations every day. Each no gets you closer to the yes. Then on Sundays, the 60 book kids spread throughout the area would get together for a day of organized fun. We whitewater rafted in New York, ate fresh lobster on the beach in Maine, and wandered around historic Boston. And because I was kind of good at selling books, not to brag, but I was the number 23 first year, I earned incentive trips. First, a Carnival cruise to Key West and Cozumel, Mexico. The second year, it was a week in Thailand. Lesson 6, how to not give a fuck. In sales school, you are taught to smile no matter what. Through barking dogs and slammed doors and threats to call the police and rain and heat and asshole dads and bitchy moms and bratty kids, then somehow through all that smiling, you really do stop caring what people think of you. Plus, when you rock a turquoise fanny pack for 12 weeks, your ego pretty much disappears. You also stop freaking out about stuff. On the drive back home to Nebraska at the end of my first summer, I dropped my transmission 30 miles east of St. Louis. So I left the Taurus at the mechanic shop, rode home with another bookseller in my caravan. Fucks given, 0. Selling books wasn't glamorous, and I spent a good chunk of time crying in my car over the constant rejection, homesickness, and self-doubt. But somehow I made myself keep knocking on doors. And the truth is, if I hadn't sold books, I might never have had the balls to take jobs in Utica, New York, or Des Moines, Iowa without knowing a soul, or to move to the city and switch careers at age 30, or to try storytelling, or stand-up comedy, or marathon running. In the end, my book cult education actually did turn out to be worth its weight in study guides. Thank you.
Being a Mormon missionary would have been so much better if I made $25,000. Fuck, man. I did gain 25 pounds. Couldn't afford to buy a new suit, so that was a big problem. It's intermission time. We're going to take about a 10, maybe 15-minute break if we're feeling it. Please go visit Mark at the bar. Again, compliment his haircut, and we'll reconvene you in 10 minutes.